Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitcraft Amplified server, and in this episode today we're going to do something that requires a 360 jump because it's going to be amazing and it's a new project. Can't wait to tell you about it. First of all, just want to say thank you for all of the thumbs up on the previous video, the 64 wither fight. Seems like a lot of you really loved that. I had a fantastic time hanging out with everyone else fighting all of those withers. It was a real good thing we made a backup, and I wanted to quickly explain that when I first made it, I laid out a line of redstone and left a gap for where the lever would go. And then it was weeks and weeks later I came back and just sort of put the lever above the redstone wire and forgot that there was a gap in it. And so because we made that backup, we got to reload the world and do it all over again and have a proper 64 wither fight. And it was absolutely amazing. And now me and the other guys are all talking about making the wither farm even better and getting even more skulls. Maybe in the future we'll do some sort of 128 wither fight, which will be absolutely mental. So I cannot wait for that. Let's talk about what's going on down here though. I got loads and loads of tweets from all of you. Want to say thank you so much for all the tweets. And a reminder, if you do want to send me some pixel art, these things are 7 blocks across and 6 blocks tall. I had a lot of tweets that were bigger than that and I couldn't use the pixel art unfortunately. But this one right here I've implemented. So I've simply replaced the sand with the yellow clay. And it's not the same colour as the pufferfish, but I think it just kind of works a little bit better. And then we've added in this little extra eye up the top here as well. And that has made a world of difference, and I like that one a lot. So I'm really happy with that. I like the golden carrot one, the regular carrot as well. And it's just the spider eye and the fermented spider eye I'm not too keen on at the moment. However, of all the tweets that I got, there weren't too many that looked much better than this. So I think this is probably about as good as we're going to get. But if you want to tweet me, feel free to do so. And let's head upstairs and talk about this project that we're going to be starting today. It will sound terribly exciting. We're going to be building a staircase of all things. I know what you're thinking, staircase? That doesn't sound great. Well, it's going to be an amazing staircase because I've had this vision for the longest time that at the either end of the rooms that we have in our base, there's going to be a lovely big spiral staircase that takes you down to the next floor. And I've been trying to make it for a while. I had another crack at it recently on my Plot World server, and I got a lot of the logistics down because we need to make this thing hit each floor, which means, you know, as it spirals downwards, it's got to do it at a particular rate where it will line up with each floor in our base. And that was kind of tricky, and I kind of got some of the things figured out about it. But then my buddy Walkers on the server took it and sort of ran with it and made something that looks amazing. When I saw it, I was like, yep, that is kind of like exactly what I'm going for here. And then the two of us played around with it, made it even better, and we've got like an amazing spiral staircase design we're going to put in this room right here. And I'm really pleased. It's going to look ever so good. So you can see, dug out a really big area right here. The beacon range comes up to somewhere just over the back here. So digging out the back of the room can be a little bit tricky, you know, if you want to use the old instant mine. You can see it's gone out there. So it's just in range though, really. I can work with that. It's not a big problem. And we've got to dig it all the way down to bedrock. I'm not sure how far down we're going to go in this episode, but I do want to just start doing some building and then talking to you about how it all sort of came together. So I think I'm going to dig down as far as the second floor right there, and then we'll build the staircase down to it. So what I wanted to do when making this is a little bit of building and recording. I think that's actually going to be quite tricky because it's a very finicky build to do. So you can see behind us we have this cobblestone wall going all the way up to the top here. This is a like 3x2, and this is like the main feature of the thing, this big support strut in the middle. And I couldn't really come up with a material to build this out of that looked right, but Walker's tried this right here, and I think it looks really good. But what makes it really work is that it sort of links to the slabs here, which are going to be sloped as they go down and around, and they're going to be all out of spruce, and they sort of link up to this oak that goes in here. So we've got this oak wood, and I like the way that they connect. But as I start to build this, I realised that the roof here is very low, which means it kind of looks a little bit odd and ugly at the moment, and also there's no lighting up here. Because we built this on a plot world, the lighting is just perfect because you're outside, and that's another thing we've got to consider. But I do think it's going to look good because, you know, we get to do a little bit of moody lighting in here, and I think that'll work out just fine. But speaking of this thing being finicky to build, here we go, it started already. We're going to have like a corner area go down a little bit. Will you place on the bottom side? There we go. And I don't even know if I'm building this exact, but I think it's something along the lines of this. That's probably a little bit too short and small. There we go. So this will be where it curves around. There's also going to be some like rails made out of stone brick slabs, and then this is going to go down like that. And I think these two might be the same height alongside one another here. So another bit of oak. And I just like the way the oak looks because it kind of connects it to this thing and it keeps that kind of structural look. So this is how it's going to work. We're going to go down like this. And the trick here is that we go down by half a slab, like, you know, in intervals. So here it's level. We go down by one on a corner, but then here we go down by two, I think is the way it's been done. So then we go down one more on this corner, and then on the opposite side. Oh, this is going to be so finicky to build. I know it already. So we would go down, yeah, we'd go down to this height here, and then for the next bit we would stay. I'll just explain. We go down by one on the corners, then this bit right here, it's just going to be level all the way across. I think that's how it's been done, and by spiraling down like that, it means that we're going to go around here once. So there's going to be, I think, like a midway bit, somewhere around that sort of height, and then we come all the way around again, and then we'll be at this height right here, ready to go into this area. And we can start digging some of this out as well. I want to get an idea for what it's going to look like when you walk into this part of the room. Creeper explosion. This is actually, I think, the first time that one's hit the inside areas of our base. Or at least I don't recall anything getting blown up in the process of building this. So we got this open roof right here. And I guess somewhere up there, something's not lit up and it's wandered in and fallen down. But it was so annoying because I was just standing here and it gave me no chance to react. It was just like, fell down, made that, you know, noise it does when it lands on the ground, and then boom, it blew up. So kind of sucks, but we'll repair this and then we'll crack on with the building. So it's happened again. Here is our wonderful staircase, and it goes down and around and around and around, and it's one block down too far. How has that happened? I made all of the measurements and preparations to make sure I didn't mess this up, and it turns out that I did mess it up. I counted 10 blocks between each floor. It's actually 9. I don't know how that's happened, and that means that this thing with its perfect spiral staircase comes down one block too low. And I don't think there's really a way to patch this up nicely. The only thing I can look at doing now is making it so that these two are connected together, or actually just any two being at the same height. So I might look at actually doing this somewhere else, but you know, if we make this the same height, then it comes up by half a block, and if we've already done that back here, then this is up a little bit higher as well. Actually no, it would be this bit on this side that would come up, and now I'm breaking it all. So by bringing it up by half a slab in two places, we get our block back, and it does mean it looks a little bit more awkward, you know. This bit over here, if it were to go up to the surface, would then be at this bit, and I don't know, I've been through this so many times now in Minecraft where you planned and you put in the preparation, you figured stuff out, and then it turns out, oh, you're off by one block and that throws everything off. I feel like I just don't care anymore. We'll hardly ever notice this. I mean, we'll get used to it, and then we'll be walking around our staircase and it won't bother me, I think. Or it might just bother me forever. And I don't think I'm going to put any more time into trying to figure this out, because I just spent some time in the test world, you know, seeing if there was another way to do this, and I really don't think there is. We just have to face it. We've got an awkward height to work with, and it's going to make for an awkward staircase. So now I'm going to rip the entire thing up and rebuild it again. It also means that the placement of these blocks is going to be a little bit different floor to floor. So we're basically like taking a big step backwards and trying to build it all back up again. So unless you examine it, you don't really notice it. Although, as I say, you can clearly see it. It's not so bad. I like this. And by the way, this isn't going to be the only way of getting up and down. This is going to be our aesthetic, sort of on your feet way. We'll probably build some sort of redstone elevator, slime block elevator, something like that as well. But it's really cool, and it goes all the way down to the floor below. I have no idea what we're going to build on there yet, but of course there's so many things to do in Minecraft that there'll be plenty of stuff for us to put on this floor as well. So it goes all the way down to here, and I think that is a reasonable amount of digging that we've done for today. Looks like there's a block left over there. That's from the instant mine. You know, when you go in and out of range, sometimes you hit blocks on your client, they disappear, and they're actually still there on the server. So we'll take that one out. And now we're going to move on to doing the railings. So I'm going to gather some materials, and this entire thing is going to have railings around the outside, which are going to connect it to the walls and make it look even better. So I've just avoided another disaster by rebuilding the entire staircase. Let me show you the railings that we got around the side here. Now, at the top it feels odd because this is so low, and this is definitely going to have to go up to the surface. But this is it right here. It's dark and gloomy in here at the moment. The lighting is another thing I need to think about. There's like the occasional torch here and there, and I don't want to keep it like that. But this is it really. It just goes around in a circle like so. So we have these 3 support struts on either side, and this is where things went wrong. So if you remember, we had this bit here in the corner of this bit at the same height, but not this one right here. And what that did is essentially threw it all out, so this wouldn't ever be level with the slab there, or at least every other one would be off, so to speak. So they wouldn't line up, and it gave me a real headache, and eventually I came up with a solution. If we just make it so the one where it connects to this side goes all the way across, then it means we can just go down like normal all the way around to this bit, and then it's level for the entire thing. And because it's a platform that goes through to a different floor, it kind of feels right that it does that. So now we've just got this railing in place. There's some slabs that go around the outside. I like the height that they're at. And then we have this little detail that sort of hooks them up to the wall like they've been supported. So wood on the bottom, stone on top, and you can see some cobblestone walls are in place as well. Now I think what I want to do is add maybe a redstone lamp over the back here or something like that to provide a little bit of light. But I do want to get it right so that we can light up the whole area without too much of a reliance on torches. And where I've gone round and replaced all of this again, there aren't too many torches up at this height, so I wouldn't mind them being up there because they're a little less obvious, so to speak. So lighting is the next trick, and once we've done that, there's plenty more I want to do in here. But for now, we're going to finish the railing going all the way down to the bottom. We've done like 1.5 floors, and I think there's like 6 or 7 more to go, so quite a bit of work to be done. So that's all been taken care of. This wraps all the way down to the bottom now, and it looks pretty damn cool. Now the next thing that we're going to do is going to be even more tedious. That took a fair amount of time, especially rebuilding the staircase for a second time. But we got these big patches of dirt and diorite in the walls, as well as granite and iron ore and coal ore, and it looks a little bit ugly, to be honest. I think you could probably get away with the ores, actually. In fact, I might leave them in. We have tons of coal and iron actually sitting around in some chests that might look really cool down here. But as for the other ones, they're going to stand out. They look like a bit of a sore thumb, especially the cobblestone right here as well. So I want to change it up with some other materials. Now when I did this on the server, using World Edit, you can take the cylinder of stone that we got right here and mix it up with some other materials. So I threw in some gravel and some andesite, and I pictured myself doing that here on the server. However, now when I look at the size of this wall and think, hey, I've got to do that in survival, it's going to be pretty impossible, isn't it? So when we tear out these patches of diorite, what I think we'll do is replace them with gravel or andesite. And let's just walk around here, because if we can see a patch, you'll see they look pretty good next to the stone, those two. And over here we've got the nether wart tunnel. Yes, something else will have to happen over here. We'll probably make a walkway at some point and tie it all together. But here you go, big patch of gravel in the side. Looks alright to me, next to the andesite as well. Doesn't look so bad. So we'll probably put them in patches like that, as opposed to, you know, like one block here, one block there, to break up the texture of the stone. So we'll break it up a different way, which will be a lot easier. So for example, where we've got all this dirt over here and the granite at the top, we'll just swap that out for andesite and some gravel and some ore as well. That was an unexpected idea, but one I think that we're going to roll with. So we're going to tidy up the sides. When I say tidy up, you know, make it look cool. Not exactly neat, because we'll be putting in lots of different materials. And yeah, going around here in circles is kind of hypnotizing a little bit. So what I was picturing is that this would be useful for, you know, I want to go down or up one level, so you just run around like this and then you get there pretty quickly. And then for when you want to go all the way down to the bottom or all the way back up to the top, something like that, we'll have a different elevator system, and that'll be over on the opposite side. So all of that's looking good. And another thing that I want to do is put some stone bricks in here as well. You'll see I've got some chiseled and regular bricks like this, and let's just break that right there. You see I've done all of this before except it's in creative mode, so you're forever flying around, easy access to everything that you want to change. What I want to do around here is just change up all of these blocks, maybe not all of them exactly, but definitely put some stone ones in like this, and it gives it a bit of a structural feel. And just a few jumbled blocks like that, you know, it feels a little bit more connected to the wall, so to speak. And in order to do that, I want to use these types that we got here, as well as the cracked and mossy stone as well. Let's put that slab back in. There we go. And so I had a look through my chests, and I had 7 binds in total. So I figured, well, we've got to go up above and look for some more. And I think I'm going to set up a crude vine farm somewhere. Eventually, I'd like to have all sorts of farms here in the base. It'd be nice to have it now, but you know, there's so many of them, I don't know how to decide. So to get ourselves some vines, I know that some of them have sort of been growing over the edges here, but I have been removing them a lot lately as well. And this is what we've got to look for now. We've got to feed off the scraps and go around and gather vines like that. We'll leave that one there, where they've been growing around the edge. So I hope there's enough for us to make some mossy stone bricks with this. But it kind of looks like the most of it's probably gone, because it all came from the swamp trees. So there's no swamp trees over there. This might actually be all of the vines there is to discover, or to find, so to speak. And then over in this direction, all the swamp trees are gone as well. Ah, look, some more vines here. We're definitely going to have to grow this stuff. This isn't going to be enough, is it? That's going to bring us up to, like, what, 12 or something? 14 vines, and that's it. It's not good enough. Okay, this area over here looks good. And this, I think, is not naturally, like, spawned here. I think this is where there's been swamp trees, and the vines grow down, and they hit the edges of the blocks, and then possibly spread left to right as well. So there probably is a fair bit of it scattered around the place. But I just noticed something over here. There's a cave, and this means the vines can grow down, and we can potentially get a lot of them. Yeah, look at that. Got some floaty cheaty vines here as well. Don't know how they're working like that, but we'll take all of this. So vine scavenging is the name of the game here. As I'm removing it, I'm thinking, actually, this looks really good. Like, look at the difference between where you have the vines over the edge of the grass and where you don't. It helps it blend together a little bit better, and it looks a bit more natural. So now I've got this idea in my head that eventually I'll plaster all of the area around here with vines on the edge, but that would be quite simply ridiculous, wouldn't it? But it does look better. Look at this. This will do just fine. Okay, I think we've hit the jackpot here. We have the ravine that leads into our base. So I remember seeing some vines around the back here, and that is going to be all that we need now. And I think what I might do is also go up the top and just spread them out the side, and that can be our temporary crude vine farm. We can just let them grow down into this ravine, which is nice because it makes use of what's already here, and it feels kind of natural too. So this is going to look absolutely amazing. However, one thing has become very apparent to me, and that is shape. This thing is a giant cylinder, and there's no variation to it. And now that it's all been fleshed out, it kind of becomes very apparent. And I don't think I'm going to change that. But check it out, the walls look really good. We've got loads of the random bricks in there. You can see I've even thrown in some polished andesite, cracked bricks, which you have to smelt. I completely forgot that. And the mossy ones as well. And it's all looking real good. And yeah, you can see it right here. As I went through my chest of ores, I saw in there that we also had some redstone and gold as well. So I decided to throw that in here. So as we go down and around, you can see, look, a big old patch of iron on that side, some gold down the bottom there, as well as coal. And overall, it is looking really, really good. I do like it. I've also been throwing in the occasional bit of gravel or andesite in places, and I haven't tidied everything up exactly. But going down to the bottom here, it looks real good. So one other thing that I've done as well, that I thought illuminated the whole thing at first, and later on I realised it didn't, is I made a little hole at the top to shine through the cobblestone walls, because I do believe light travels down here. I could be entirely wrong actually, because it may just be the light from this area. At the moment it's night time, and yeah, when I put this in place I sort of thought, well, the light's going to shine all the way down and spread out, but actually these blocks right here would block it off, if not the cobblestone walls. So anyway, there's one job left for us to do now, which is to open this area up to the top. Oh, and we've fallen down, and to just finish the staircase wrapping around up to the surface. So it's quite a bit of work to clear out this last bit. It was really awkward to sort of dig up, and as I got to the backside here, you can see it just kept going up and up as we went into a bit of a hill. So I'm thinking this thing is probably going to curl around, probably once it'll be about there, and then again over to that side. Because it goes up, I'm not sure how many times it's going to curl around. But I figured that would be a project for another day, because I want to put a bit of thought into this. I thought it might look good if we sort of terraform it in. And I tell you what, where we are right now, it's not a good place to really talk about it. Let's hop up here, because what we could do is trim away lots of this and sort of slope it inwards, like it's a crater that's sort of opened up or something along those lines. So some terraforming might be in order. And yeah, we hit some of our temporary cactus farms over here. That's a project for another day, to build a cactus farm, as we don't have one in this area yet. But there you go. I want to give myself some time to think about it and come back to this at another point when I got some inspiration again, and maybe we can do something really cool with the top bit right here. But anyway, that's going to be it from me this episode. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a like on the video. Your support is always appreciated, so thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.